Well, let me put it to you this way. If any hypnotist says to you that it is a power that emanates from them, they're full of it. And I can tell you the example that proved it. Ever heard of the word mesmerized? Ever heard of the guy by the name of Franz Mesmer? Okay, back in the late 1700s, or mid to late 1700s, a very famous hypnotist at that time. He believed that the hypnotic effect emanated from a magnetic power. We all have electrical current that runs through our bodies, and so he felt that there was a magnetic power that went along with that. So he would have bathtubs filled with iron filings, and he would put big poles in these iron filings to stir them up. And he would have groups of people holding the poles and all walking around this bathtub, right? Like this, stirring up the iron filings, right? Going round and round and round and round. And people became hypnotized. Not because of the iron filings, but because of the repetitive motion of going round and round and round and round. So he thought he was wonderful in this magnetic power that emanated. Well, there was a committee that decided to have a look at this new power of hypnosis. And on this committee was a gentleman, or one of the people on this committee, which was a committee of 5, was a gentleman that you may have heard of. His name is Benjamin Franklin. Well, they presented Mesmer with a pole, which was an iron pole. They said, go ahead, Mesmer, do your thing. Holding onto the iron pole, he did all his wonderful things, and everyone was hypnotized, and it was terrific. Then Benjamin Franklin said, this is an amazing power that you think that you have, but you don't. We don't understand how it works, but you don't have that power, and I'll tell you why. He took this metal bar, put it over his knee, snapped it in two. It was wood, painted to look like metal. So that debunked immediately that the hypnotist had the power. I don't have any power whatsoever. Only you can do it. I can't do it for you. Each and every one of you has the ability to go into a hypnotic state, with or without me. Okay? I'll give you an example. Did anybody drive here today? Can anybody who drove here today please tell me 2 cars that they saw on the way here?
I saw her car.
You saw her car? What about you?
I saw a BMW and a van.
Okay, and there were what, at least 25,000 cars that passed by you?
Yeah.
And you only saw 2. How about you?
2 police cars.
2 police cars. Okay. So,
I saw your car in the parking lot.
okay.
I saw the
All right. So, a big bus. Okay. So the point that I'm making is that you all drove here. Do any of you actually really remember the route that you took? You just got here, right? You got in the car, you went somewhere else, but at the same time, you were really aware of what was going on around you, even though you weren't, right? Because who was the lady that said police cars? 2 police cars, right? So unless it had been a police car, would you have paid any attention to anything that was going on? No. Now that same thing is really hypnosis. When you look in your rearview mirror sometimes, you know, when you're parked at a traffic light and someone's sitting behind you, look in your rearview mirror, and you look and you see their eyes, right? And it's like, where the heck are they? Because their eyes are not focused on anything, right? They're just staring into space. That is hypnosis. You, right there, you went somewhere else. Okay? Your mind isn't even here still right now. You're still thinking of all the stuff that you've got to be doing and all the places you've got to go, right?
I'm here now.
Yeah, okay. You're gone. Hello, welcome back. So when you see, and I remember seeing on an Olympic broadcast one day, this person coincidentally was about to do a shot put. Okay? He had the shot put nestled in his arm, right? He was there. And the camera zoomed in on his eyes. And his eyes were just completely what my wife calls me-go. My eyes glaze over. His eyes were completely glazed over, but they weren't glazed over meaning that he wasn't in control of what was going on. He was just focused somewhere else. And he was focused in getting that power ready to make that movement, visualizing how his muscles are going to work, visualizing the throw, seeing how far it's going to go, and then actually completing the motion. One day I was walking through my neighborhood taking my lovely little dog for a walk. come past this guy who's playing basketball all by himself. Now, the hoop was about here, and he was about here. Boing, 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 missed. Boing, 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 missed. He couldn't get the darn thing in to save his life. So I said, okay, I'm a hypnotist. I happen to be passing by. Let me offer you a little suggestion. And he said, okay, well, what the hell is that then? So I suggested to him that he might want to just bounce the ball, and before he throws, take a split second to feel and to visualize the motion required to throw the ball, and see and how much strength is required to throw the ball and to actually toss it into the net. So he says, okay, I'll do that. So he, just to prove me wrong, okay, he goes all the way from here, literally, to here, because that was the length of the driveway and a little more, the sidewalk. And he says, he goes boing, boing, and I said, before you throw, remember, close your eyes and do it. So he goes, okay, boing, 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 straight in.